Welcome back, Luxurious Fleet. The Honda NSX has just been canceled for Australia and rumored to be replaced by an SUV. And in today's video, we'll discuss the heartbreaking announcement, narrow down a potential SUV successor, and find out what's next for the iconic supercar from Honda and Acura. Over at Car Advice, Australian website, Honda NSX has been retired from the Australian lineup. Only 9 examples of the $420,000 Honda Coupe have been sold since the car was released in 2016. None have been sold in 2020. Honda Australia confirmed their decision, telling Car Advice new orders for the model can no longer be placed. The NSX does remain on sale, of course, in the US, UK, Japan. I'll put what $420,000 equivalent Australian to USD. That is the biggest reason I feel like the NSX hasn't been selling well. Speaking of sales, if we go over to carfigures.com, the NSX in America costs $150,500. This gets you, of course, the hybrid powertrain, twin turbo V6, 500 horsepower and over 400 pound-feet of torque. And when we go down to the sales volume here, Acura NSX yearly US sales figures, well, if we go way back to when the first generation was still around, here we go, 2016, it sold 269, had a big year in 2017 with almost 600 units, 170 in 2018, 2019, 238, this year in 2020, 34 in the first quarter, 21 in the second quarter, 28 in the third quarter. That gets us just over 80 units sold in 2020. And Q4, I don't expect a big uptick. So they're probably going to pass 100 units just barely, which is by far the worst year ever for the NSX. Can it still be on sale here? With this sort of sales volume? Of course, they're not going to abandon their flagship for Acura. That is their linchpin for everything going forward for the brand, at least here in the United States. Australia didn't make any sense to keep selling there. 9 units. And a big part of why it isn't selling well is because it's exorbitantly expensive for what a lot of people believe what it is. If we look at the GTR, probably its closest rival in terms of Japanese supercar, lots of power, lots of performance. It makes quite a bit more power and comes in at $113,000. And you can also find a lot of used ones on the market for much, much cheaper, which is going to perform very similarly to that twin turbo hybrid NSX. If we look at GTR sales, now they dropped off in recent years because it's been on the market for forever, but look, it's outselling the NSX a minimum of 2 to 1. You put them all together on average, it's going to be well over the best year ever for the NSX. And because of the lack of interest in the NSX and its poor sales, they're having to do something else with the PMC, or the Performance Manufacturing Center in Ohio, that makes the NSX. And they're coming out with these special edition PMC hand-built versions of their normal cars. Now the PMC RDX, which is going to be available, guys, right before Halloween this year, pretty awesome. Deliveries beginning October 29th. And $51,000 MSRP, which is a steal because it combines all of the advanced package as well as the A-Spec package. So it's the best looking and best equipped. I think the only thing it's missing is like the hands-free liftgate. If you guys want to learn more about it, I have a video dedicated to the RDX PMC. The Pumpkin Spice Edition is what I call it. But because the volume is so low, they have to fill that volume with other vehicles in the PMC Center. So I think more people are getting excited over these hand-built normal people cars than the poor selling supercar, which is out of reach price-wise to everyone. And a lot of fans of the first generation NSX were hoping we got a 6-speed manual. We're hoping that we got a naturally aspirated engine, still mid-engine vehicle, rear-wheel drive. Now we have this freak, and I'm going to call it like a freak because it's like a Frankenstein. It's crazy and it's fast and it's an engineering marvel in a lot of ways, but it's not what a lot of people were asking for, especially enthusiasts, okay? And you add into the high price tag, another reason why the NSX is not doing well. So what would be the replacement in Australia and maybe other markets where it's getting pulled out of? What could possibly replace the NSX? Well, nothing can replace it. Nothing Honda makes can replace the NSX. But if they're going to be like, oh, well, we need a flagship What is it going to be? Rumors out of Japan suggest Honda may have plans to develop an SUV based on the underpinnings of the hybrid supercar. And we got a cool rendering here. There's no doubt it looks pretty cool. It kind of looks like a RDX with a NSX front end. They're saying Best Car Web reports Honda could create a sports SUV designed to rival the likes of Lamborghini Urus using much of the technology borrowed from the NSX. If this high-performance SUV does come out, I could see it being based on the next generation RDX. I believe they say it wouldn't happen until 2025 at the earliest. Well, that's going to coincide really well with the drop of the next generation RDX. The current one is great. If you haven't seen my review on it, definitely check it out. I had a lot of fun. I really appreciated that vehicle. But that could definitely be a next generation RDX with twin turbo V6 with electric motors in the back. And that would kind of coincide with my theory in that all Type Rs of vehicles going forward would be a hybrid. If the Type S's are going to have a turbo V6 with 355-ish horsepower, the Type Rs, which hasn't been confirmed, but a lot of people would want that, and it would do really well if they exported those Type Rs to be a flagship overseas. Acura has Type S, eventually Type R with the hybrid powertrains, this hybridized turbo V6 or twin turbo V6 like the NSX, and then you can export it as Hondas around the world for flagship SUVs or even sedans at that point. What do you guys think of that? NSX dying in Australia, potentially in other parts of the world. Could it be replaced in the future, or at least have a co-flagship high-performance SUV? And lastly, speaking of Type Rs, I talked about this maybe a month or two ago. NSX Type R scheduled to appear in late October of 2021, or October of 2021, I should say. And it's going to be even more horsepower, of course, 650 PS, so that'd be maybe 630, 640 horsepower. That's likely due to a higher output twin turbo V6, maybe higher output electrification as well. And you see a lot of carbon fiber around it. It looks pretty cool. I like the looks of it. To me, I'm more interested in the drop top or the Spider. I think a Spider NSX would appeal to a lot of people in warm climates. But guys, would you be interested in a top of the line, let's say super luxury RDX-like vehicle with a twin turbo V6 electrification as well? Would you be more excited for NSX Spider, NSX Type R? I don't see the NSX going anywhere. And in fact, I don't even see it being replaced by a third generation, even though Best Car, the same website, was putting out images last week on a third generation renderings, and they look pretty cool. Alas, this second generation is here to stay for a while, unless you're in Australia. They might even pull it out of the UK. Who knows at this point? There's a lot of possibilities here, guys, to sit on, to think about, smoke a pipe over. I don't smoke, but I've been watching Lord of the Rings and they smoke a lot of pipes in that. If you made it this far into the video, definitely hit the like button if you haven't. Subscribe for more breaking news, car reviews, you know the drill. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Peace out.